Good day to all of you, and God bless you too. My name is Dr. Alex British Chinedu Ekwesi Tasie. I am a native of Ishobo Ancient Kingdom in Ikwerre land, which is in River State of Nigeria, West Africa. By the grace of God, I am a writer, a musician, a filmmaker, a football coach, a historian, and also a multi-dimensional thinker. I am an Ikwerre historian who is sufficiently informed about the background history of Ikwerre people. I am an Ikwerre image maker, and I am popularly called Professor of Native Intelligence. What I have here to treat is the status of a woman in the family, in the Ikwerre traditional society. The position of a woman in the family, in the land, in the community, in the Ikwerre traditional society. Almost every society in the world is a traditional one, which means there are practices and observances that the people adhere to, the people commit themselves into. And those observances and practices form the nucleus of the society. They help to tie the bond in the society between the members of that society, because they are the do's, they are the don'ts. And so, a society without a tradition is not safeguarded, because people will behave anyhow they like, anyhow they want. So, tradition helps a lot to regulate the way the members of a particular social environment live their lives and relate with other members of that environment. So in Ikwerre land, the people have their traditions that are very dear to them. They do their best to see that those traditions are adhered to, are observed, so that the Ikwerre traditional society, can continue to go on without hitches, without challenges. So in the Ikwerre traditional society, as things were done in the ancient times, a woman, in this case, a feminine gender of human being, a feminine group of human being created by God has her position in her family, in her village, in her community. And she also has her limitations in the family, in the village, in the community. My job, as I have severally said, as someone who is not highly educated, is to teach my people what they do not know, or the things they know but do not know them very, very well. Because I have committed myself to studying, to knowing the way my people called Ikwerre people live their lives, behave. And so it is my job to continue to reverberate, to re-echo those traditional standards that the people of Ikwerre land practice. In the Ikwerre traditional society, a woman has her position and also has her limitation. As I have said in other episodes, culture is the way of life of a particular people within a given social environment. And culture is not homogeneous. It's not the same all over. It varies from one social environment to another. That is where it is. So those people who think, who believe, who say that everything should come to one order are making a very fatal mistake, because that is not the mind of God. If not, God would have created everything the same. The world we live in, as I have said in other episodes of my program, is a world of contrasts, a world of opposites. It is quite unfortunate that people learn from me and they don't show appreciation. They don't even say thank you on social media. Even if they don't give money, they don't even say thank you. I see some people who re-echo some of the things I say as if they originally, brought out those things. That is not the way to behave. You must always recognize your primary or secondary sources, when doing any history work. So a woman has her position, has her limitation. A woman is a cherished human being in the Ikwerre traditional society because life begins with a man and the woman. As God has made it, it is the man who transfers his semen into that of a woman's ovum. And with time, the woman produces a human being. It is not that semen, it is not that fluid ejaculated into the body of a woman, poured into the body of a woman, that brings about the form that a human being is made of. The eyes, the nose, the mouth, the hands, in fact, the entire body. It is not that semen that the man pours into that of a woman. No. But it is through that process that human beings can continue to come into this world to fill the spaces. So the man sleeps with a woman, pours his semen, and with time, the woman produces, bears, conceives a child. Then the child in time takes over from the parent or the parents. So, a woman is cherished in the Ikwerre traditional society by the members of Ikwerre land because they see a woman as someone who helps to bring life into the world. Without a man, life cannot come into the world. Without a woman, life cannot come into the world. So it takes two of them to come together. Some people say tango to produce life into the world. So Ikwerre people recognizes that fact that a woman is very, very important in the land. And so women generally are regarded and respected in the Ikwerre traditional society. Yes. A woman is a female child in the family. And what is her position? Traditionally, the position of a woman in the Ikwerre traditional society is that she complements her male siblings. Her brothers, she helps. She complements their efforts in the family. She helps to cook. The men also cook. She sweeps, cleans the compound every morning, keeps the environment neat and clean, helps to make her mother's hair, washes the clothes of her father, her mother, helps in the farm like also the men folk. She does a lot of invaluable things. And she is recognized as an important gender in the family. At some point in time, traditionally, it becomes expected that that woman will someday leave her father's house. Yes, she does her job in the various ways that she does it. And it is recognized that she is important in the family. But someday will come, traditionally as it is expected, that that woman will leave her father's house and will go elsewhere. One of the reasons why a woman marries out is to continue the lineage of her father in another place. You couldn't make her dearly, and make her dearly. Obrumen agbale ankwano nke aka. I'm a professor in native matters. I have been studying traditional history, native history for a very long time. One of the reasons why a woman is asked to leave her father's house, apart from that of procreation, because when she leaves, she meets another man and they continue life there, is to continue the lineage of her father somewhere. And that is why you see when a woman marries out, and begins to bear children there, you will see some of the human features of her people in the children she is giving to another man somewhere. You see the feature of the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the skull, the movements, the body shape of maybe the father or the uncles that she is transferring from her original family to her new family. That is it. And see, people begin to mix up. You might not understand exactly the origin of a particular person if you begin to analyze it from the angle of physical experience, physical examination. People begin to mix up. So a woman traditionally in the Ikwerre traditional society is not expected to stay put in her father's house, in her family, without marrying out. In fact, in the olden days, it was a serious concern for a woman to stay in her father's house without marrying out. People will see her as a woman without character. Possibly that was one of the reasons why she was in her father's house. That was the way they saw it at that time. So it is expected that at a point in time that a woman who is in her father's house will mature, come of age to go out from her father's house to another man's house to continue progression and to also continue the lineage of her people. That is it. Nowadays, you see a woman calls herself a single mother. It doesn't make sense. A single mother, how? What you are bringing forth are bastards. Maybe you do not know. The world has changed. In the traditional Ikwerre society, people were limited based on the circumstances that they came into the world. People were also approved in the traditional society based on the circumstances that they came into the world. But nowadays, things have changed. And they say it doesn't matter that a woman will stay in her father's house, will still be bearing her father's name, and will begin to have children. She may go somewhere else and rent a house and begin to bear children there and will call herself a single mother. It was a taboo in the ancient times. Yes, and it was not tolerated in the community, in the land, because bastards were given their own position in the family, in the village, in the community. And so, no woman wanted to have bastards as children at that time. Auntie, sister, any child you have, and you call yourself a single mother, is a bastard. Those children are bastards. Maybe you don't understand. Yes, that is the status that you have given to them. They are bastards. That child is a bastard. You may not understand. They are. He is. She is. So in the traditional Ikwerre society, the position of a woman while still living in her father's house is to assist to do certain house chores, to complement the efforts of her people in doing certain things in the family. But there will be a time to come when it will be expected of that woman to leave home and go somewhere else and stay there as a married woman to continue the lineage of her people and also to continue progression of human beings into the world. So that is it. So a woman who is either Adam or Olo in the family, firstborn female child and others following her, yes, they have their positions. Whatever position they hold, at a point in time, they will all drop all of them in the family and move out. Yes, when they move out, they are not hindered, they are not precluded from coming to give one assistance or the other to their immediate family, to their original family, because they are still members of that place. But largely now, they have moved out, and they have moved out. They are more a property of another person, of other people, and make out dearly. They are now in the family. Even if she's married out, she has a role. She makes peace. She continues to try her best to see that as an Adam, as the first female child of the man or of her parents, that she makes her input in making sure there is stability in her father's house. That is it. A woman is limited in the family. A woman is limited. A woman has her limitations in the community, in the village, in her father's house. Traditionally, a woman is not supposed to be part of the, sharing of family property. Family property. A woman, originally in the traditional Ikwerre society, it was not done so, where a woman now will partake in the sharing of her father's property. No, that was not done in that way in the past. You might say, what of the present? Because we are eroding our cultural space with nonsense. We say we are educated people, we are exposed people, and we cannot defend what is original, what is native, what is traditional. We cannot. A woman is not supposed to, after marrying out, you now come back to be part of the sharing of your father's property. Even if she is not married out, she is expected to marry out. What is holding you, sister? What is holding you, auntie, in your father's house? You have a bad character. No, it is not by putting on affront. I'm born again. No, it is not enough. Check yourself very, very well. You are supposed to leave your father's house, at least and gain respect. How can you still be in your father's house and you are contending issues with your brothers over property? In some other irregular societies, people give rooms to women. You don't want them to marry out. You don't want them to move out. No. In the Ikwerre traditional society, that of course is a contrast to that. Ikwerre people do not give rooms to their children to live when they are expected to move out and go to someone else's house. So it is not in the position of a woman to stay in her father's house and begins to expect to have a share in her father's property. No. What is expected of you, auntie, sister, madam, is that you go to someone else's house and be in charge of his property. That is what is expected of you. Go out, move out. Where you are going to, the man will have something for you. Whatever the man acquires in life is your own and that of your children. How can you take share there and come back to take share in your father's house? It is cheating. For those who are enacting such nonsense law. It is cheating. In the wisdom of the traditional Ikwerre people, it was not done that way. How can a woman move out after having everything that her husband has acquired, will also come back to her father's house to begin to take share in the property of her father? No, that is cheating. That was why the ancients looked at it and said, a woman is not supposed to take any share in her father's house because she is expected to marry her someday. And whatever her husband acquires becomes her own. Yes, that is how it is done. A woman is not supposed to be the paramount ruler, traditional head of the government of the land. No, we are not the British people. They are leftists. They don't know anything. Look, most of the white people do not know anything. To know something is different from gift. What the white people are is displaying, so many of them, not all of them, are the things that are given to them by God as gifts. It's different from the knowledge that I'm talking about. How can you give a traditional position to a woman to head over the people, to lord over the people? A woman? No, they are leftists. In the Ikwerre traditional society and most African traditional societies, a woman does not become the paramount ruler, the traditional ruler of a community, where men will take instructions from her. No, it was never done that way in the past. A woman was not supposed to also become the head of the family. In the past, it never happened that way. A woman never represented her people as an emissary, as an ambassador, as a diplomat, to another place. No, that was never done. A woman has her functions. Cook for your husband. Take care of your husband. Take care of your family. Assist and complement the efforts of your husband, of your people. There are many ways to do that. But officially, to assign a traditional position to a woman to be in charge, no, it was not done that way. No. A woman is not supposed to, I want to make it very correct, because in the past, it never happened that way. Shake a man with one hand. That was never done before. A woman to shake a man with one hand. No, in fact, in the traditional Ikwerre society, women never shook hands with men. In the ancient times, no woman shook hands with a man. That never happened. No matter the age of the woman, even if she was a grandmother, an old woman, a woman never shook hands with a man. What a woman did was to bend down, and the man will touch the woman on her back, pat her on her back. That is a sign of submission. That is a sign of respect. That is a sign of regard to the man. Of course, children never shook hands with an old woman. So a child will come of age, a male child will come of age before patting the back of a woman. A young person never patted the back of an old woman. No. It's only an old person to an old person, a young person to a young person, a small child to a small child, A woman never shook hands. Look at the British people, look at the Europeans. A woman will just stretch out hand and shake a man. A man will even take two hands. Oh, an abomination. Those people are the leftists. Of course, what have they been able to do to make the world better? Look at the whole thing. What have those people who practice such things, who do such things, what have they been able to do to make the world better? I am not talking about science and technology. I'm not talking about engineering. These are prodigious capabilities. These are ingenious capabilities. I am not talking about those things. I am saying with the knowledge they have, how have they been able to better the society? Most of the philosophies that come from those areas are nonsense. How can a woman stretch out a hand and begin to shake a king? Shake a traditional ruler, a woman? No. A woman never cooked for a man when she is in her menstruation period. When a woman is seeing what they call their blood, a woman never cooked for a man. Traditionally, it was not tolerated for a woman to, during her menstruation, cook food for the man, the husband. No. If the children have come of age, during that her cycle, the children will take over. In the traditional society, where a man was, at liberty to marry as many wives as he needed, as he wanted, if this one is undergoing her cycle, the other woman will cook for the man that is not undergoing that cycle. A man is traditionally created to be spiritual. But today, some of all these things have died in the man because of these anomalies. A woman never came to the obiri, the traditional hall, and will rise up and will begin to talk without permission from the men. As you see nowadays, during political meetings, a woman will just stand up, tell people, keep quiet, keep quiet. It was never done that way. Women have their limitations. There are so many of them. The time here is not enough to begin to enumerate all of them. There are so many. A woman has a position in her father's house, in the community, in the village. And she also has a position where she will be married to, in case she is married. And the woman has her limitations. These limitations are traditional limitations. Of course, unfortunately, these things are being extinguished by the know-how of the present educated class. The people who call themselves educated people, well-exposed people, well-read people, as I have said, have always been the pipelines, have always been the channels through which these absurdities, anomalies are injected into the traditional African society. And it is not helping. The world has not become better with all these displays. So, I want to end it here that in the traditional Ikwerre society, a woman has her position, has her functions, her jobs. A woman also has her limitations. Yes. So I remain Dr. Alex British Chinedu Ekwesi Tasie. I might not please everybody because it is a submission. People have different worldviews. nowadays as against the traditional practices, observances of the people. Today, the psychic of so many people have been worked on. Ah, aha. People now are psyched to behave, to think like the people of the Western world, the people who call them white people. Ah, aha. But in the mind of God, as He has made it, it is the white people learning from us and we learning from them. Then we compare. We compare the things they do and the things we do. We compare which is better, which is more helpful to the society. My job, as I have said, is to educate and also to let the white people know that some of the things they do are irregular to us. Some of the things they want us to do are the things that are not autochthonous, native to us. That we have our way of life different from the way they live their own lives too. That is what I preach. That is what I educate. That is what I teach. You might not like what I say. You might not like me because of the positions that I have taken about certain world matters. But they are the truth. They are the truth. I research very well. I don't ask questions from human beings. I ask God Almighty to explain to me how things are supposed to be done. And I go out to meet people who know more than I do know, who know better than I do know, who are older. And I ask them, in the past, how were things done? And contrary to the way things are done today, they tell me, and I come, examine all of them, analyze them, and apply some sense and logic into it. And I teach. I have the time. You might not have the time. Continue to learn. I am the master. You are my student. Thank you, Ameka.